What do we think the outcomes are going to be? And this, we love this picture. We think this picture
says everything.
Sums it all.
Yeah. What you just said, Charlie. Yeah.
So UBS taking over Credit Suisse after they had a
love it.
UBS took over Credit Suisse after a 54 billion Swiss franc bailout.
Mm-hmm.
They got all this money, and days later, UBS had to buy them. And you're totally right, Simon, that people don't buy this, and you can tell because when UBS bought Credit Suisse, the share price of UBS went down.
Mm-hmm.
People don't buy the narrative; they just don't buy what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting thing that's developed in the US with the deposit protection scheme, which is called the FDIC, it guarantees $250,000 per account in the event of a bank failing. Now, that would usually be a set figure, 250,000.
Who underwrites that guarantee?
Well, the way that it works is banks pay into this pot through fees, but it's flawed like all of this stuff. And here's why. The total pot is 125 billion, which sounds like a lot of money, and it is. But it only covers 0.03% of all deposits in US banks.
Jesus.
So it just doesn't cover the total. And what the Janet Yellen, the Secretary of the Treasury, has said is, for Silicon Valley Bank, a bank that's systemically important, they've said that with this FDIC, they will cover all deposits. They will cover everything. Well, if the total's 125 billion and the first in line get all of their deposits, not the 250,000, but they get 3 billion and 10 million here and this there, what's left for everybody else?
Nothing.
Not a lot. At 125 billion, if everyone, let's say everyone had 250,000, that would be 500,000 people that it would cover. You start chipping out 10 million and 3 billion here and all this kind of stuff, then that number goes down very, very quickly, leaving less for everybody else. This is the reality. So if you're with a bank that's systemically important and too big to fail, then maybe there's a chance. But if not, then yeah, good luck is the reality.
So I suppose in the ideal world, the best bank to be with is the first one to go bankrupt.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
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 The first biggest one to collapse, that's the one you want to be with.
Yeah. If you're with anybody else, no, you're not going to be in a very good position, are you?
It's slim pickings, and if you can pick the first biggest bank to collapse, then you're probably a pretty good investor if you can pick those kind of things out. It's just not a good situation. The other thing that's difficult is central banks are stuck between a rock and a hard place because inflation, as we know, is out of control, and the way that they tame that, they have a very limited toolbox of things they can do. And raising interest rates is their main tool for bringing down inflation. Mm-hmm. Well, if you've got banks that have made a lot of investments in low interest government bonds, and then you're increasing interest rates, the value of their investments are going down. Who wants them? Mm-hmm. They become less and less valuable. So what do central banks do? Do they raise interest rates to then curb inflation? Or which then puts banks under pressure, or do they keep interest rates lower, which then lets inflation run wild, but then protects the banks? Like, what do they do? And we're not saying there's a perfect scenario, and not that we know the answer, but understand that can't see how this is going to end well, knowing that those are the two things on either side. It's very, very difficult. Just to throw it out there as well, and this is just a side note from us, we're hearing from customers that it's getting more and more difficult to actually buy precious metals.
Yeah.
And personally, our experience has been on our YouTube channel, when we've mentioned banks in a video, that video has been removed. We had 125 videos removed in one day.
On Friday last week, all of our videos got taken
No
off.
reason. This is not a strike, because maybe you didn't know this violated the community guidelines. That's what the wording was. Maybe you didn't know. So we're not going to give you a strike, but 125 videos have now been removed.
Wow.
They're all signs, aren't they? They're all signs.
Yeah,
I don't know what more we can say about that, but this is the reality.
Adam, is that on YouTube? That won't be on BitChute, will it? It's just on
No,
just on YouTube.
YouTube.
Just on YouTube.
Yeah.
And the emails that came through, they came through all together. Like the inbox just went 125. Remove. All said the exact same thing.
So because they can't actually prove that there's anything violent, racist, sexist, or anything about these shows, what they're just saying is we'll make up some complete story because actually our masters in the banks and the deep state don't want ordinary people being empowered to buy gold and silver.
Exactly.
Well, that should be the greatest wake-up call to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was to us. And that's why we're so pumped about getting this video out, because we want people to know what we're seeing and what the community's seeing, because people talk to us and they tell us their experiences, and we put it all together, and we want to then put it back out to the community so that we can empower each other.
Adam, that's why we set up Rumble and BitChute, you know.
Jay, sorry to interrupt you. Why don't, and that's the case, why don't you just, both of you guys, do a 2-minute video for YouTube and just put the link to BitChute, but don't say anything. Just say that's it, because if they're going to take this one down as well, all the people who would look on our YouTube, if they see that link then to the website or something, then they'll just go. You might save a lot of people.
We did that 2 years ago. We did that 2 years ago, Simon.
Right.
We got told that went against their guidelines as well.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, we expected this. That's why we set up Rumble. That's why we had BitChute. You know, we just have to guide people there now. But we've even had a few customers in France, and they've said they've been censored for watching Rumble.
Yep.
You know, because they know that people are going to Rumble now for the information they need.
So where are the white hats then? Come on, Charlie. What's going on? Why are they stopping? Why are they allowing decent, good people to protect themselves? Surely,
because it has to be done this way, and I think deep down, you and I both know this. That this has to be exposed.
I just get cross.
It can't just. We can't just tell people. If we told people, they wouldn't believe us, and there'll be a lot of people watching this that won't believe it. People actually have to physically see it, and for those people, for Simon and my audience who are wide awake, they get it. But we're still in the minority. There are people that are still fast asleep, and we're just trying to wake them up gently by showing them. Because they won't believe us if we just. And Simon and I have had this discussion so many times that it's quite sad that you have to take people's money away before they will wake up.
It is sad that it gets to that point. And like we've said, there's people that have watched our videos and still haven't done anything. And maybe when they're seeing banks collapse and they're going, oh, maybe some of that stuff that we were saying is true and is now coming out, which we just hope it's not too late. That's our hope.
Calling all US citizens. Check out the link in the description to get your free Goldbusters ebook.